All right, guys, welcome back. And we got even more Resident Evil 4 Remake gameplay coming from Game Informer. It's about 12 minutes of gameplay, and it's all about Chapter 5. And we don't get all of Chapter 5, obviously. They're cutting out chunks, and they're just running through it, certain parts of Chapter 5. The footage is from, I think they stated the footage is from Capcom and not their gameplay, but they did get to play all of Chapter 5, and the footage we're seeing is a cut down version of Chapter 5, which is obvious because you'll see the cuts and stuff. But yeah, it starts out basically with Leon and Ashley within the church after, he finds Ashley, and they're trying to escape the church, and it's surrounded and has villagers inside. He basically, the layout of the church is actually different this time around, where in the original, the puzzle thing for the church with the multicolored shards and the insignia was on the second floor, but this time seemingly it's on the first floor where the podium or altar would be, and now there's a third floor in the church, and the third floor is what they escaped through. Although there seemed to be maybe some stuff you could explore up there on the third floor, but they kind of just run past it, and Leon and Ashley jump out the window to escape, and um yeah, and oh, that's when we also get to see Hunnigan. The Hunnigan calls are all now real time, so Leon can get it'll pop up a screen with Hunnigan, and you'll see Leon. He can move around while talking to Hunnigan, which I think is cool. I think it works better when it's real time. But although I will miss the classic pop up menu with the what would you even call it, the the portable video radio? I don't know, but they had to modernize it. So yeah, she's a pop up on the screen now, and Leon can move around while it's up there. So after we talk to Hunnigan, we also get a look at a request or a side quest or a mission or whatever you want to call it. They're posted on these blue piece of papers that seemingly the merchant's just going to leave around the area. And also, you get to see the elegant headdress, which is a key, not a key item, but a treasure item from the original game, and it's exactly the same as the one from the original game. Yeah, but when you pick up the request, it'll tell you what you need to do to complete it. It'll tell you the reward and keep track of your progress, which is really helpful. And yeah, it seems like those are going to be scattered around, and some of them are going to be by the merchant, and others will be, I guess, at the start of certain locations, and you just pick them up to start them, and obviously you'll get rewarded if you go out your way for it. Then we eventually see Leon um, do like a stealth kill, but then they decide to not to go stealth and just start attacking villagers. So I guess that's pretty cool. It's nice because they're really, I guess you can play this game however you want. You can go balls to the walls with guns, or you could stealth your way through this. I'm not curious how far the stealth goes. I'm sure that you probably can't stealth kill or attack like stronger enemies like the bull enemy. Um, but yeah, they're going through, running through, and if Ashley gets picked up, you can. I mentioned this in the other video, but now you can run up and stab the Ganado that picked her up, and we also get to see also a few more things like when Leon does a kick, it hits Ganado in the head, and the head explodes, and obviously a parasite comes out. We get to see that the flash grenade is an instant kill for parasites. The request that he picked up initially after they jumped out the window was I think you have to shoot like 2 gravestones, and we get to see that solution there. And yeah, there's also I think it also showed like a nest with a chicken egg in it. So the nest was stuff in the village in the original as well. There are actually a couple of nests where you could get like a treasure item. And yeah, once you complete a request, you turn it into the merchant, and you can get your reward. You can also sell your treasures. And something that I saw while you were in the sell menus, it looks like you can sell your keys now. Which is something that wasn't in the original. Your key items would stay in your inventory, except the ones that you have to like place on something, and yeah, you can sell them. I also noticed when you go to buy items, like the Red 9, when they bought the Red 9, it says special offer on it, and it was like limited time sale for 30% off. So I guess maybe at certain points in the game, you'll obviously have the new weapons and stuff on sale or unlocked and on sale. And then at a certain point, like let's say maybe the Red 9 was already you could already buy it from the merchant earlier, but most likely it was expensive. And now, during this specific point in this chapter, when you get to the merchant, he's giving you a discount. So it'd be like the best time to buy the Red 9 to save money. But if you look in the gameplay trailer, the money that they have in there is quite a lot. So I don't know if they just gave themselves that Capcom just gave themselves that amount of money in here just so they can mess around, or if like at that point in that chapter in the game, that's just how much money you can actually earn. And I'm assuming that because they have so much money, or not because they have so much money, but because it doesn't look like things are that difficult. So I'm assuming they're maybe on standard. They seem to be having a lot of ammo and blowing through stuff, so they might be playing on standard, but I believe in the original, yeah, the professional, if you play it, you get more. They drop more money and stuff like that. So maybe, but it doesn't seem like they're playing on professional here. This is just standard, and most likely they just gave themselves this amount of money. Also, you could see that you could buy the rocket launcher, and you had the recipes for like flash grenade bolts, attachable mines, and the whole recipe thing that might actually be kind of broken going on in gameplay. I don't know, when people start playing the game hardcore and doing speed runs, they're going to come up with some crazy strats, and the fact that you could craft like flash grenades and mines and stuff like that might just make speed runs go nuts. But we'll see when that comes. And speaking of the Red 9, that's my favorite handgun in the original Resident Evil, and I'm so glad I get to see some gameplay of it and get to see it come back. They also got the Red 9 stock. Yeah, as soon as I'm able to get that, I'll get it. But granted, we've seen the special offer where you get a sale in Chapter 5. Most likely, I will wait till we get that sale. Always got to spend wisely. Yeah, so after he finished talking to the merchant or whatever, there's another request right on the door that you have to use to leave. And that one's for like a dog, like a special dog enemy that you have to find near the chief's manor. And you see where the dog's at in this gameplay. And Capcom, they did say that Capcom confirmed that's not the dog that we save in the original, and they also said that the dog that's dead in the beginning of the game, they wouldn't confirm nor deny that that was the original dog that you save in the original Resident Evil. But who knows? Maybe the dog's still in the game and they're just saving it as a surprise. I hope the dog's still in the game because that's our buddy, our best friend there. So I hope he's not dead. Yeah, so we get to the point in the gameplay where they mention there's multiple paths like into the village. Like you can take like another door in that room that'll lead to like a tunnel, and it'll come up through the well or whatever. We get to see like Leon use the TMP, which the TMP is the TMP, man. It literally, the TMP still looks like it's going to be like such a broken gun to use. And we see him using it on the legs of a female villager, and then he does like we see another melee move from Leon where he does like a straight kick, like shot her in the leg, she fell on her knees, and then he ran up like directly in front of her and kicked her in the face. I know also, given that this whole chapter seems to be like we're in the middle of a storm, a lot of people are it seems to be the rain is a controversial thing to talk about, which is kind of like silly because it's like such an insignificant thing, but a lot of people don't like it. Some people are saying it looks great and they like the heavy rain. Some people are saying that it's too much and it looks terrible. And some people are just saying that it's because of like YouTube like compression of the video that's why it looks so bad. I'm of the boat. I could definitely understand that it's too much, and I see people's complaints on that, but I actually like it. I think it's I think it might be intentional given that chapter 5 here, there's like a lot going on in terms of like, Ashley and Leon are on the run for like from like tons of villagers, and I think it's supposed to like create this tone and atmosphere of like urgency, and there's like this big storm going around, heavy winds and rain coming down really, and it can be much. But I think it's intentional, and I like it because it's not often you get to see like that strong of heavy downpour of rain in video games. I've always thought that rain and snow are like my favorite things to see in video games, and I think it works really well in survival horror. And yet, I have yet to see Resident Evil 4 remake is the closest I've ever seen to that much rain in a survival horror game. Like, just picture it. Like, picture like I remember like one time I was driving home from college and it was dark out and it was raining so hard, harder than it is right now in Resident Evil 4, and it was so hard to see anything. You couldn't see anything but the stuff around you and maybe some like headlights from cars and stuff like that. It was so hard to drive through that rain. And it was definitely dangerous. And I was like, it would be so cool in a survival horror game if it was raining this hard and you could go through like the dark while it's raining this hard and you can't really hear things. Like imagine if something was running at you in the rain and you couldn't see shit, and it was like might get annoying, but at the same time it's pretty freaking scary. But I don't know, we'll see. Maybe they'll find like a middle ground to make everybody happy. But realistically, this game looks so great of everything we've seen. Who cares about the rain at this point? Like, it's not a big deal to me. If they tone it down or they put their foot down and keep it there because it's intentional, who cares? Like, there's so much more going on in this game that I care about. Yeah, so that's my little 2 cents on the rain. It's okay if you don't like it. Everybody has different opinions. Um, but yeah, eventually, um, they come across the dog for the request for the little side quest, and we get to see the dog turn, like the parasite come out on the dog, which looked insanely. The dog we already talked about in the other video, but the dogs look, or this specific dog looks so vicious, and the parasite stuff looks crazy. Parasites looks insanely good in this game, and I have no complaints there. But yeah, eventually we get to see some familiar locations here. Like I think the map layout is pretty faithful, but they've you know put a little bit of tweaks and changes there, and how things connect. But for instance, the location to the bridge that takes you to the little villa where you and Lewis have like the big showdown from the hordes of enemies is pretty much like identical to the original game. And there's also, you get to see Leon shoot one of the medallions. But they state that the developer said that the medallions are a reoccurring side quest that show up at multiple spots in the village. So it's not like the original game where there's set medallions and you have to, collect them all to get um rewarded a special weapon. But yeah, eventually they make it to the villa. We see them run across the bridge, and we get to see that the rest of the gameplay is just the villa fight scene. Not all of it; it's still cut around a little bit. But I have to say, one thing that I thought was really cool in the cutscene when you get into when Lewis calls him over to help them to get in the villa and lock up. Like when Leon gets in there and they get out of trouble and they lock the door. Like he turns around, he's got sort of like an angry and like menacing look as he pulls up on Lewis, backs him in against the wall and puts his hand on his chest, pushes him against it, and he's like basically asking, "Who are you?" and stuff like that. Like Leon seems like really intense in this game. Like he's not fucking around, and it's really cool to see. So yeah, I'm excited to see more of like Leon's character in this game. So yeah, pretty much yeah, we get straight into it. We see the villagers come, cutscenes, their little conversations cut short, bunch of villagers. I'm excited to see how the full thing plays out when we get to play the game, because this was one of the cool parts of Resident Evil 4 to me, and it looks like it's even this part's going to look freaking crazy, because the villagers this time around are more lethal and aggressive. And obviously we see in the gameplay that you can push the bookshelf to block the windows, and you can also board up the windows in here just like RE2 Remake. And eventually later on, though, they do send like a bull enemy who, like, with his hammer, smashes open the window. And yeah, you just get to see all the different villagers come in, and Leon uses the assault rifle and the handgun, and we get to see him parry the freaking one dude swings a torch and he parries the torch, which I can't wait to use that parry. That parry seems like fun, and it's going to be fun to test out through our first playthrough and just test out in general what the parry works against. Like, imagine if like we still get the um whoa, oh my god, I'm a brain fart. The right hand man, oh, dude, I'm forgetting the enemy's name, but like the boss fight against Salazar's right hand man. Uh, I'm forgetting the boss's name, but I'm having like a brain fart. But yeah, like imagine if you could parry like his tail whip, like he swings it at you and you could just parry it. Like I'm curious to see like all the different types of parries we can do. And eventually, like I said, the bull guy comes in and attacks, and they chase Leon upstairs. But when he swings at Leon, there's an R3 prompt to evade, and that seems cool because I guess that's going to replace the quick time events. Because usually, whenever an enemy had a move that you could evade, it usually came from like bosses and stronger enemies. It would be a quick time event, but this time around, you just click R3 to evade. They didn't evade it in the video, and when he got hit by that hammer, dude, that shit nearly insta killed him. It took like all his health. So that was it for the gameplay, but that's insane. Like, and I'm pretty sure that they're not playing on professional. So you get hit by that hammer on professional, that's probably instant death. So yeah, definitely want to evade that. Or maybe if you're quick enough, maybe you can like somehow parry the hammer. I'm sure it'll cost you like tons of durability on your knife, but again, that's going to be one of those things we have to test out when the full game comes out. And right after that, it's not the end of the gameplay. It's the end of like gameplay, but they still show us some more stuff. Like we get to see the treasures. We get a glimpse of the um another treasure item, the elegant mask, straight from the original. Looks exactly the same. And this time around, you can seemingly get more than one jewel piece to put inside the elegant mask, and you can arrange them, arrange the jewel pieces however you want, and you get certain bonuses for arranging the jewel pieces. Like they put one of each color in the headdress, not the headdress, the mask, and you got like a bonus for having three colors, or 1.3 bonus. So I'm curious if you use the same color, maybe you'll get like a different bonus, but each bonus gave you like more money for when you sell it. And yeah, seemingly I think that's pretty cool because I guess that's going to sort of replace like the RNG factor of like certain items, like the butterfly lamp. Like I remember that getting those colored pieces for the butterfly lamp were completely RNG, and like one piece was even rare. One of the colored pieces, I forgot which color it was like a rare drop. So like sometimes you might not even get it on your playthrough. So this time around, maybe you'll get all the pieces and you just have to rearrange to, or you can use multiple pieces. Like let's say they still have the rare drop thing, you can still put another piece in there and sell it because the chances are you might not get all the same colors. And so right after that, we get to see another new thing. This time around, there's a storage. Leon has a storage. Resident Evil 4 Original did not have a storage. Whatever you could fit inside your attach case is what you had. Anything that you took out of your attach case and the little menu that pops up when you take stuff out to rearrange stuff, like if you leave that in that box, it'll discard it. But now we get a storage box. You can take weapons out, put them in there, and I guess that'll be nice. We'll have to see how that works because usually back then when you didn't want like a gun, or at least me when I didn't want a gun in a playthrough, and after playing a couple times, I know what I want and what I don't need, so I'd sell guns and stuff like that. But I guess this time around, instead of like, let's say when I get the red 9, instead of selling the handgun like I normally do, I could just throw it in the unless I really need the money, I could just throw it in the storage so that maybe later on in the game I can be like, hey, why don't I just switch out the red 9 and use the handgun a little bit, feeling like something a little different. But that's cool that we now get a storage, and then on top of that, they showcase that there are different types of attache cases and the cases give you like different perks, like different bonuses or whatever. And then on top of that, you can put like keychains, which is confirmed. I talked about that in the other video, but now it's like confirmed that the keychains also have additional bonuses to them. Like I think that attach case, like in the video, showed the certain attach case that they had on in the video allowed for more resources to drop, and then the chicken keychain that they put on it, I think, increased the health you gain from eating eggs to restore your health. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I like how like there's a lot of new additions here, like the attached cases with the bonuses and the perks and the storage, and I think that's really cool. And yeah, this game is shaping up to be insane. This might be like the best remake ever, but we'll see. I'm really hoping for a demo soon. You know, this thing comes out like late March, March 24th. I'm hoping that maybe towards the end of February and early March we get like a demo. I would preferably not a one-shot demo because I just want to sink my teeth into it and play it as many times as I want. But odds are they might make it a one-shot. I feel like every other demo since RE2 Remake has always been timed. RE2 had a remake had a one shot. RE3 Remake had a one shot. I believe RE3 Remake was a one shot. I think it was, yeah. Um, 7 did not have a one shot, but it did have a demo that was nothing like the real game. It was just like a fun little puzzle demo to show you the gameplay and stuff like that. But it wasn't even like real gameplay because you didn't get to fight or kill anything. It was just like a fun like Easter egg hunt type of demo in like a small room that's like a very small portion of the game. 8 had a timed demo, but 8 did a thing where the demos were timed. It had a prequel sort of demo that wasn't timed. It had the maiden demo, where you don't get to really do anything. You just play a maiden trying to escape, and it's short. And then they did like a time demo where you actually get to play, and but they had like multiple dates for it. But given that Resident Evil 4 is like really close, March 24th is not that far away. We're already in February. I think that ultimately we'll get a demo late February, early March. Hopefully it's not one shot. So yeah, that's it for the Resident Evil 4 Chapter 5 gameplay that we got to see from Game Informer. Can't say it enough. More and more I see this game, the more excited I am. I'm just ready for the full game. I just want my hands on this game. Please, hopefully we get a demo. Let me know what you guys think down below. Like and subscribe if you enjoy my content and you want to see more. I'm definitely going to be covering more Resident Evil 4. Yeah, I will catch you guys in the next one.